Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Womb Talk Season 4, Episode 7. As you know, Womb Talks is a show where we at Mompreneur Circle bring you inspiring stories of women entrepreneurs across the cities to celebrate women in business and motivate you. And today with us is joining a very, very special guest. She is Miss Upasna Punj. She runs a company called Live Your Bachpan. With the name itself, it says so many things, such a heavy, solid name. She's a digital wellness coach. Now, if you didn't know that something of that sort existed, wake up, because digital technology, social media, everything is actually taking us away from mindfulness. And here we have somebody who's going to talk about digital wellness. She has her expertise in handling kids and young adults, teens and tweens, and she is on a mission to empower children and their families with tools and knowledge to help them navigate the digital world. We are all living in the digital world, but are we living safely, mindfully, trying to build our self-belief, respect, and resilience? Here we have, well, very, very welcome, Upasna. We are so
Thank you.
glad that you chose to talk about such an important and critical topic today with us.
Thank
We welcome you
you
here.
so much. Thanks, Son. I'm glad to be here, and I'm so glad to be having conversations around this topic, because it's so needed. So
Yes,
thank you for having me.
it is. It is. And we at Mompreneur Circle, we believe that everyone should gain from each other's knowledge. And that's why women entrepreneurs who struggle with so many multiple things throughout the day, and digital is something that they are, again, working on it mindfully or not. Let's find that out.
Yes.
So my first question to you would be that, what sparked this idea of Live Your Bachpan? The name is so
Great.
intriguing.
Yes, yes. Well, I have little bit of a backstory to share to answer this question.
Sure.
I'm a chartered accountant by profession, so spent 20 plus years in the corporate world, held different leadership positions, worked with large teams. And the three things, that really clearly stood out in my professional and personal journey during that time was that success and happiness is not just an outcome of academic excellence alone,
Hmm.
right? It requires life skills to be able to navigate life, to deal with failures, to rise up and, believe in yourself. And those skills, are basically not formed overnight. Our mindset does not develop overnight because the experiences that we have as a child and the environment that we have as a child forms the basis of everything we do as adults. So
Yeah.
while all of this was very clear, when I became a parent myself, I was very intentional that, I'm going to be very clear to build these life skills for my child right from the
Hmm.
beginning. But there was something I wasn't prepared for. And I think most of us parents weren't prepared for that was the digital invasion in the lives
Hmm.
of our children and of course us.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you would agree that our children are living in a world where screens and so digital media is forming such an important influence in their lives. It's forming their mindset. So one of my biggest challenges as a working parent was to manage my child's screen time. And I tried all traditional methods, bans, curfews, apps and all those blocking apps and all of that. But every time it would end up with arguments and battles and all of that stuff,
Hmm.
tantrums and all that. And and another thing that really happened in our lives, all of us, was COVID. And that happened around a time for most of like parents who are raising teens and tweens right now, when our children were at the foundational years of their physical and mental growth, you know. So we kind of threw them in a digital ocean
Hmm.
without teaching them how to swim. Digital playgrounds replaced physical playgrounds. And like all parents, I was struggling with the time and knowledge to help him navigate. And I could clearly see how he was getting addicted to screens. It was impacting physical, emotional, mental well-being. I could see kids around him getting impacted so badly.
Yeah.
And that is what kind of sparked this idea of Live Your Bachpan, because I wanted to help my child and other children, in a community to live a beautiful childhood mode.
Hmm.
And this is,
Right.
where I would accept screens and technology, but where it does not consume them, where they can feel
Hmm.
empowered. And I'm sure you would agree that we are the average of the five people we surround ourselves with. I
Hmm.
mean, our children learn from each other. No matter
Hmm.
how much you teach your child, if the children around them are not doing the right things, they would get attracted. And that's
Absolutely.
where Live Your Bachpan is all about, forming a community of like-minded children and parents who believe in navigating this digital world mindfully and with safety.
Right. Right. And I'm sure all of us, women or parents, are definitely going to relate with this, because very often unconsciously, or unmindfully, we do this. We are like, oh, the child
Yeah.
is crying or child is not eating, let's give the screen. And that's very randomly done and without any thought. And I'm very glad that you could think beyond the obvious, and dive into this whole entrepreneurial journey, looking at your child and wanting to help other children. So
Yes.
you talked about that, you were CA for 20 years. So how did this transition from a past role, uh, you know got into this building up of new brand? So I'm sure there would have been your own challenges, your own struggles. So was it what kind of decision it was? Was it a
Yeah.
struggleful thing?
So the decision was, of course, not easy,
Yeah.
and I think even more difficult was breaking the news to
Yeah.
family that, finally, of course, it had been growing gradually.
Hmm.
So I think it was a mixed balance. It was a bit of a natural progression
Okay.
because along the 20 years, as I said, the learning and the experiences that I had received, and I was very, very much involved into transformations, behavioral changes, for large teams and for
Hmm.
large transformation
Hmm.
programs,
Right.
because those require mindset shifts. And so it was more of a natural progression, in the sense that while that career was there and, very rewarding financially, and all of that was there, but somewhere there, I think it's probably with experience, you start feeling the need to kind of give back and do more.
Yeah.
And and as you kind of start having those conversations, which is like, what really is the purpose of your life? What is it that you really want to do? How do you, like, what next? you
Yeah.
know so that is those were some of the questions that I always asked myself, like, why I do what I do. And I
Hmm.
think in search of that purpose, in search of, combining my passion, my purpose, and solving a personal problem as well, which really was the need of the hour. It
Hmm.
kind of all blended together. And I think it's when, when you're right, when you believe in yourself, when you start taking action, the things just start working out, right? As
So
Rumi
tell us
says.
who or what has been your biggest support in this entrepreneurial journey?
So, definitely my family supported, like they never questioned
Hmm.
or why is it and all of that. They trusted that, okay, you go ahead.
Hmm.
I think, but my biggest support, I would say, is the fact that I have this learner mindset, being a
Hmm.
lifelong learner, because taking this journey was a complete, you know, stark opposite from what I had been doing. And
Yeah.
the one thing that really helped me was being a quick learner, being open
Hmm.
to learning. I've been learning from people half my age, no barriers to learning. I'm not thinking that, okay, I'm CA, I know it all, I'm being a leader and stuff. It's like really just surrendering. Just
Hmm.
surrender to learning, just surrender to, and I'm learning social media. I've never done that. So building all of that. And the second thing, which is really helping me, is being flexible and agile. So,
Which is
you
so
know,
true.
just
Which is
just
so true.
fail fast, learn, get up, keep moving. In this digital world, the one good thing is there is no such thing as failure, right? There is so much to do. So every day you can just change the story by doing something. So these two things have really helped me, keep
Great.
moving
And I
on.
think that kind of mindset is very, very important if you really want to learn and go ahead in life.
Yes.
If you're stuck with where you are, then you're not able to move ahead. But if you
Yes.
keep learning, it's easier to move ahead. So tell us, what's your take on raising mindful kids in this tech-driven world?
Yes. Like, so I invested, more than 10,000 hours learning from best mentors, learning about digital balance. And the one thing which is very clear is that we cannot eliminate screens and gadgets from their lives. We
Yes.
shouldn't, because there is a lot of power in technology as well.
Mm.
It's like a superpower,
Mm.
and it's like magic that can work both ways. It can empower you, or it can even addict you and depress you.
True.
So we don't need to eliminate it, but we need to
Mm.
educate and empower them to be able to make their own positive digital choices. You
Mm.
know, so while children can use technology to learn so much, to connect with their friends, we also need them to be mindful, because screens are causing our families to be more disconnected than ever, right?
Mm.
People
True.
are on
True.
on screens while having meals together or when they go out. Children love connecting with their friends, but it is also overwhelming them with the need of being online,
Mm.
to reply to that message, to be,
Mm.
they're worried, what if I get kicked out of the WhatsApp group if I don't reply?
Mm.
Or,
Mm.
or, or what if I don't maintain the snap streak?
Yeah.
So that is also causing the stress and anxiety. So when we educate them about their own self-worth,
Mm.
that they have
True.
the power to control it, they are beyond the social media comments, and relationships are not decided by snap streaks. It's decided by emotions. There are people behind screens. So I think it's all about educating and empowering them so that they use it as a tool and not get consumed by it.
So when we say that we are going to empower kids to, use the positive tools of digital technology, I would like to ask you that how can moms or parents, for that matter, manage screen time for themselves and their children without guilt? Because a lot of times it's not just the kids;
Yes.
it's us also, indulge so much into screens that we are not able to come out of it. So it's
Yes.
work, it's our business, it's our everyday life. We also need to
Yes.
connect to our own friends and family and all of that. So how to balance that out as parents? And
And I'm
a
glad
lot
you
of
asked that
times when we talk
question.
about parenting, Upasna, being a parenting coach, I think a lot of times I think we are the role models. तो मैं जो
Yes.
करूंगी, that is exactly what my daughter is going to do. So if I am on
Yes.
my phone, she is going to ask for a phone. If I'm reading a book, she's going to read a
Yes.
book. So how you tell us some tips, or you tell us how to go about it?
Yes. And I'm glad you asked this question, right? Because so I'm going to, segregate this into two parts. I'll talk about parents first, and then I'll talk about children.
Yeah.
So for parents, it's very, very important for every adult, in fact, to be, first of all, aware of their digital habits. Be aware of your digital habits and habitat, as I call it,
Yeah.
which is your digital
Yeah.
surroundings. So a lot of people sometimes, are in denial that no, 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 I'm not addicted to screens, even if that's the first thing they check in the morning. You know, so at least be aware of your digital habits. What are the different times that you do it? And more importantly, and this is very, very important, and I want this to kind of, just go deep for everybody who's listening, is that whatever distractions we have in our lives, and
Hmm.
right now screens, and this applies to kids, it is actually an unhealthy escape from reality. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times we do screens because we're trying to escape from an
The
emotional
present.
turmoil. We're trying to suppress
Yeah.
something. We're feeling we had a bad day at work.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
We want to do binge watching, or I could not spend enough time on my own self. I'm going to spend this time on me time. I'm going to do phone at night. Or it could be, a lot of time running away from reality. So I
True.
would
True.
start with becoming aware as to why you're doing screens.
Hmm.
What exactly are your habits? Like, do you just sit and wait for somebody and you start scrolling? Is that something? So just getting aware of those thoughts.
Hmm.
Second thing would be, now that you're aware, be intentional about your screen use as
Yeah.
to what exactly do you need to go and do, get out of it, and come back. So for me, for example, I was really getting overwhelmed with WhatsApp chats, and a lot of chat, a lot of groups I was a part of, a lot of pings and dings constantly. That was just keeping me distracted. I would go there, check a message, and I would, like, spend hours on just WhatsApp. I removed all notifications. Now I go to WhatsApp when I need to
I
go to
want.
it, not when WhatsApp calls me.
Yeah.
So, so removing notifications, being intentional about what you want to do by being online, and even if it's entertainment, that's fine. If you're somebody who loses track of time, put an alarm for 30 minutes,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
and just get up, drink water, maybe just break the cycle. So the second thing is being intentional, and third thing is set boundaries. Very, very important, because be clear that I'm not going to touch phone for the first 30 minutes after waking up.
Yeah.
No phones before 30 minutes before I
Sleeping.
sleep.
Yeah.
So setting those boundaries, which you will be able to stick to, is a good start. So that's for parents. Coming to children, like it or not, and as you rightly said, we are the role models.
Yeah.
We are still the biggest influence in our children's lives. They will do what they see and they will not do what they hear. So you
Yeah.
can keep on telling them,
True,
keep the
true.
screen down. They won't if you are on your screen all the
Yeah.
time. So being again intentional and aware about your own screen habits is a first start. So as I go back to, scan your child's digital habitat. What are the different digital devices they have access to? How easy is the
Hmm.
access? If you have a phone lying on the dinner table, of course the child will pick it up.
Right.
So it's a good idea to remove that from their surroundings. The second thing is, of course, setting healthy boundaries, having conversations with them, build healthy boundaries that they can stick to. Don't take the extreme approach that no screens at all. Like if your child is used to watching screens at a particular time, give it to them, but maybe taper it,
Yeah.
like maybe just one meal with screens, not every meal.
Yeah,
So
it's a
something
slow
like
and
that.
gradual process. You cannot just cut it off immediately. Either you
Make
have
it
built it through
realistic.
the childhood, or you have to, go very strategically. Because I've seen children of, children who are elder than my daughter, go haywire if the screen is taken away.
Yeah,
So it's actually, it is dangerous, not just for the children, physically and mentally, even for the parents, because it's so difficult to handle the child at that point of time, and the child is not
exactly.
able to listen to you.
And now setting boundaries in a way which is effective. So for example, you can, if your child is like really addicted to having a
Hmm.
screen during meal times, remove all phones. Maybe can you put it on a TV? So
Hmm.
that's better. At least they're not holding it in their hands. Secondly,
Yeah.
monitor the type of content. So definitely no reels, definitely no
Hmm.
shorts, definitely no aggressive content. It could be something mild, which is playing on the TV, maybe music, maybe some, easygoing
Yeah.
cartoon or something like that. And third most important thing would be, which is really, really important, which is like nothing else is going to work if this is not in place, is connection with your child. Build connection with your child, because
True.
you can set boundaries, you can tell them whatever, they will not listen to you if you don't have the connection.
True
And
that.
one very easy trick to do that is there are three important moments when you connect with your child: in the morning, you know, during when they come back from school or coming back from an activity, and at night. Please don't connect with them with screens
Hmm. Hmm,
alongside you,
hmm. True. True.
completely be present for those 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's going to make a big, big difference in your relationship and in their screen habits.
So, Upasana, as a digital coach, what would be your go-to productivity tips for a mompreneur, a
Yes.
women entrepreneur? Can you suggest any go-to productivity tips?
Yes. So I'll share what works for me, and what I
Hmm.
have learned over the years is, and I've completely ditched perfection. I don't aim for perfection at all.
Yeah, that's
So
the best thing to do.
So number one tip, if you really want to take action, is, don't aim for perfection. There is no
Hmm.
such thing as perfection, but take small steps. So even if you're not able to complete everything on your to-do list, that's okay. You can do it, but have a structure, but don't overtly try to be perfect.
Yeah.
Second would be, don't compare yourself with others and in the social media world. And that's something, really applies to us entrepreneurs, because we're trying to build something. And the moment we see a similar person on social media doing so, my God, so many followers, so many likes, am I even doing this? Is this even worth it? And that's going to take away your productivity from you, and you're going to end up scrolling screen and all of that, right? That
Yeah.
escape from reality.
Yeah.
So don't compare your journey. Your journey is unique. There is definitely, you're going to find your customers who match your vibe.
Yeah.
My mentor, he said that, your vibe attracts your tribe. So there would definitely be
True that.
somebody who's meant for you. Don't compare your journey with somebody else. And I would say just keep taking consistent action.
Yes, right. So, what's your top advice for moms and women dreaming to own their own business? As in, a lot of women are still procrastinating to start up their businesses. So, what would be your, advice to them?
So I think I'll tell you how I arrived at this journey, and when honestly, if you would have asked me like 5 years ago, I probably thought that I'm not somebody even cut out for entrepreneurship. I
Yeah.
thought I'm somebody likes to be very safe in a job and I'm comfortable. But
Hmm.
I think the three things that can really help you arrive at a decision and it'll help you stay on track. As I
Hmm.
said in the beginning, right? Find your purpose.
Hmm.
Do something which aligns with your purpose, because your why of doing something is very important, because that is what will bring you back when you're going to
Hmm.
fail, when you don't feel like waking up in the morning. That is what's going to make you wake up and do that you
True.
know
True.
so find your purpose, spend time, ask yourself, why is it that I want to do this? Don't just start a business because everybody else is doing it, or this is like the coolest thing to do today. But it should align with your why. The
Yeah.
second thing is going to be, your passion. What is it that you're really passionate about?
Hmm.
How does it align with your purpose? Because if you're passionate,
Hmm.
it might as well be a
Yeah.
hobby. But if it aligns with your purpose, and it's also solving a problem,
Yeah.
that you're passionate about, and maybe it helps somebody. So that's what you're going to get paid for after all. So it's
Very
almost
well
like,
put.
that's
As in, it is very well, put together, all the three things.
yes. So I
Yeah.
think for me, that's how I arrived at, these are the questions I kept on asking, like, okay, what's my purpose? First of all, why is it my purpose? Because this is something that I'm so passionate about. Also because it's a personal situation I can relate with everybody. And also because I love being with children. I want them to enjoy their childhood. I really want them to experience the amazing times that we all keep saying, "Hamare time mein acha tha," right? But I want them
True,
to
true.
experience this. And
Yeah. See,
and
like
most
me, a lot
important,
of people are appreciating the three things that you have said right now. I can see Rakhi, Anita, and Shipra, agreeing with you. Even Latika,
okay.
few seconds ago, said that it's the right way to do. So, I think all of us would agree that that's the way to go about it. So, one last question, Upasana, is what's one financial lesson you have learned in your entrepreneurial journey? Because you are a CA, we need to ask you this one financial lesson for entrepreneurs.
Yes, very important. So, and entrepreneurs plus as women,
Hmm.
I mean, having your financial independence is like a no, non-negotiable. You
Yeah.
know, it's not optional, it's non-negotiable. So you need to have, and there's so many ways and means. So
Hmm.
having that, and I think I would say start with your savings early on.
Hmm.
Even in being in business or whatever work you're doing, start small.
Yeah.
Start with small amounts of money, buy some mutual funds, start investing, and just forget about it, let it grow. So
Right.
that's again a very, very important thing, especially for women
Hmm.
entrepreneurs. And from a business perspective, one thing I would say is that don't compromise on the quality of, so I'm sure people will use tools and a lot of things. Don't compromise on the quality that you will use, like the quality of, let's say, tools and stuff, but also do your cost benefit analysis very, very smartly. There's so much available in the market today. So be very vigilant about the things that you use. Don't spend all your money on, those flashy things in the market.
Yeah.
Just go slow,
Hmm.
and, learn along the way.
Right, right. Rich also agrees that whatever has been said for the entrepreneurial journey is very well placed, and I think I'm privileged that I could have this conversation with you, Upasana, because this was not just about women entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial journey, much more than that. And I'm
Yes.
sure everybody who's listening to us right now, or joined us before, or would be listening to this episode later, would gain so much, not just about entrepreneurship, but also about digital wellness, which is so important in today's time. And we are
Thank you for
glad
having me.
that Upasana is taking this leap of faith and talking about digital wellness, not just for kids, but also for families. And that's extremely important. And we as women entrepreneurs really need to work on mindfulness of how we use digital products.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Upasana. Thank you for joining us. And there was this one question, just let us take that question. It was very interesting.
Yep.
It said, how can we prevent our teens from watching reels as it reduces attention span? That's true. And there was
Yes.
another thing which was said by Rakhi, that was Pallavi's question. And Rakhi is saying that monitoring content is very important. These days, some kids' shows have objectionable content, and I would agree to that. Even Peppa Pig. The other day, my daughter was watching this episode of Peppa Pig, and there were things which were being said by Mama Pig, which were not appropriate. And since I was sitting with her, I could make out that what is it. So we discussed. I
Yes.
think you already mentioned that discussion and conversation with your kid is extremely important. मैंने उससे वक्त टीवी को pause करके I had this one-on-one conversation with her. She said, "Mama, she is like that. She thinks like that. It's not me. It's Peppa Pig's mama thinks like that." So,
Yes. So you
but you
said
have
it
to tell
right.
them.
It's
Yeah,
absolutely right. So I said, one of the important things is building connection. So
yeah,
talking about the reels and the type of reels that can come up, sometimes the kind of ads that pop up in free games. So I think it's all about connection, as in you can't just straight away tell them and say, stop doing reels, stop doing Instagram. If they've been there for
Hmm.
a long time,
Hmm.
you've got to build that trust. And how do you build that trust is by being around, by
Yes.
being part of their digital world. So maybe you can ask them like, okay, hey, who do you follow these days? What content are you seeing? What's the latest meme going on? Why don't you educate me about it? And start having conversations with that, because then they'll open up. They'll start
Yeah.
opening up and they'll say that, so you can always question that, hey, why do you like to be on Instagram? So don't make it like you versus them.
Hmm.
Make it like it's us versus technology. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can always
That's a
say,
great tip.
hey, you know what? Even I struggle with my online. I struggle with Instagram, that once I start scrolling, I'm not able to end.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask your child to help you?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and try and understand that why they are doing the reels is more important than, just stopping them from doing it. Is it that they try to escape from a bad day at school? Is somebody bullying them? Are their friends teasing them for not being on Instagram? So those kind of things come out when you start having conversations, and then you
Yeah.
gradually wean them off. We weaned our children off so many things, right? We don't do instantly that, okay, stop doing this. So it's
Yeah.
almost about having the same level of connection that we had during childhood,
Hmm.
and then gradually educating them.
And the most important thing here is that it will happen over time.
Yes,
Immediately, something is not going to happen, and you have to be patient with the child, moving to the next transitional phase.
yes,
I think that's also important. So
yes.
thank you, Upasana. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you, and I think this is one of the best episodes that we had on Warm Talks, talking
I'm so
about
glad.
digital wellness, which
Thank
is
you.
not just important for kids but also for us. And there are more comments that we have. Love that, not you versus them, but us versus technology. I think that's the best thing that I heard today. And engaging kids with best alternatives, yes, of course, that's also important, that you can always engage them with nature, you can always engage them with books, you can always engage with them certain activities. I Whenever I'm cooking, I always take my daughter with me, so she might not be doing the heavy stuff, but she's there looking at me. So
Yes,
these small things will take them away from screens. So by the
correct.
time she's sitting alone, she's getting bored. Rather, yes, books. So Raki is saying books, of course, because all of these things would help us.
Absolutely.
Very,
And
very,
you can add some positive habits before or after screen time.
yes,
For example, a gratitude practice.
yes,
So let's say, okay, you allow them screen time, but after 30 minutes, you do a gratitude. So this way you are kind of blending something. And
yes.
gradually, when we
Hmm.
do introduce kids to these practices, automatically they're
Hmm.
attracted to the right things and good things.
Yes.
Like for example, I started to tell my son that, you do 30 jumping jacks before picking up the screen. you
Yes.
know so
That's a
might
good
as
tip
well add some
again.
physical activity before.
That's
And
true.
honestly, sometimes they don't even feel like doing it after they do a physical activity. They're like, okay,
Hmm.
now I don't even feel like doing screens.
Yeah, because that energy is already released. And I agree with Shobhaji as well. Teamwork is important, and we are together in the same team, kids and us. So let's close it. It's already 12. Thank you, Upasana. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm sure that everybody who's going to watch this episode later is also going to gain a lot from this one. Thank you so much. This is Dr. Sonam signing off, and we will be back soon with episode 8. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Bye bye.
Thank you.